Good afternoon for all of you. I would like to welcome all the participants in this webinar on Horizon Europe Opportunities for Sub-Saharan Africa in collaboration with the delegation of European Union to African Union in Addis Ababa. My name is Ahmed Malel. I am the regional representative for Euraccess Africa. It is a great pleasure to be with you today for this 1.5 hour of event. We will discuss and learn about opportunities of cooperation in research and innovation between Sub-Saharan Africa and Europe. I would like to thank our speakers today, Dr. Piero Venturi, EU Science Counselor for the African Union delegation of the European Union to African Union, Teguela Matubeta, she is the Director of Strategic Partnership Department of Science and Technology in South Africa. Dr. Solomon Benor, CEO of Research and Community Engagement Affairs in Ministry of Education, Ethiopia, and National Contact Point for Horizon Europe, and Pressure Acquired Chair of Africa Chapter Marie Curie Alumni Association. Before starts, your questions must be submitted in Slido, and all questions will be replied by our speakers in this session. We will take notes, and all questions will be replied. The webinar will be recorded and will be available in Euraccess Africa website as well as the slides. That's it. I am glad to start by the first presentation related to Euraccess Africa. So, Euraccess Africa is an initiative of European Commission established with the aim to provide free access to information about research in Europe, opportunities for research funding, international collaboration, and transnational mobility. It links researchers in Africa to Europe. The network is open to all nationalities and research fields. Euraccess Africa is a networking platform, reliable source of information and ideas in research and innovation jobs, funding and hosting opportunities in Europe, helps talented European and international researchers to explore and create transnational ties with researchers, employees, and scientific communities, and helps develop careers within the global R&I system. Here we can see the photo of the team of Euraccess worldwide. We are in Japan, we are in India, in North America, and we are also in Africa. So for 2021, there is the first year, the preparatory activities for establishment of Euraccess Africa Hub, and for 2022, we have the official launch of Euraccess Africa Hub. So here you can see in the website of Euraccess, in the top, in Euraccess Africa, you can see Africa, and you can click on sign up for free membership to Euraccess Africa to get all informations related to all opportunities given by European Commission. What you can we do for you, so promote EU national research landscape, promote EU funding opportunities like today, like Horizon Europe, promote Euraccess network, invite speakers from the network, and connect researchers with research labs. Euraccess Africa, how can we work together? Let's share another information. Invite us to present your bilateral events, forward as requests about EU funding, addressing your scientific diasporas, and tell us how can we support you further. For 2022 events, we have organized many events. The first one in collaboration with the ERC, European Research Council. There's 2 webinars, one in French and one in English, in 16 March 2022. And we have presented the first time the Euraccess Africa Hub in Nantes, in France, in March 2022. In Sousse, in Tunisia, there is the second networking day in the Faculty of Medicine of Sousse. Here in University of Ibn Zohar in Morocco, There is info day and practical workshops related to how to use funding and tenders opportunities and to get more and more opportunities for European Commission. Here in Ethiopia with Dr. Solomon Benor, our speaker today. And we have organized many webinars related to MECA Africa webinars, Horizon Europe for North Africa, cost and opportunities given by Belgium to African countries. We have, in collaboration with Francis and Taylor, Taylor and Francis, we have organized many webinars related to getting published, navigating in the publishing process for academic journals. And with the team of MECA in European Commission, we have organized the two webinars, one in French and one in English, related to MECA staff exchange webinars. And today we have our webinar related to Horizon Europe, opportunities given by Sub-Saharan African countries. We have many key partners with Euraccess Africa. We have Agence Universitaire de la Francophonie. We have Association of African Universities, the African Academy of Sciences, the Federation of Arab Scientific Research Councils, ERD, and you have the Réseau National International des Instituts Pasteur. So here I will show you the promotional video for Euraccess Africa. Just a few seconds, you can see our promotional video. So that's all. You can join us, be informed, be proactive, click in this button and join our community of researchers. We are in LinkedIn, we are in Twitter, we are in Facebook, and our mail is africa@euraccess.net. So thank you for your attention. And now I will give the floor to Dr. Piero Venturi. Dr. Piero, the floor is yours. Just you can open the mic. Okay.
God. Yeah, here I am. Sorry. Many thanks, Dr. Hamed, for this kind introduction, and many thanks also to Euraccess Africa for this fantastic organization. I'm going to try to share my presentation. I'm not sure you can see it in the full screen, but well, I'm going to present in this mode. If you agree, if it's not working. Okay, well, my aim today is to give you an overview about European research programs that can be useful for African scientists. Well, first of all, I would be glad to give you a little bit of a political background. So we have to consider that Africa has always been a strategic partner for the EU that is seeking to enhance cooperation with Africa, mainly aiming to promote action targeted to find a locally adapted solution to what we face as global challenges. Global challenges, you think about global change, the health situation with the pandemic all over the world, that often has have Africa as a target. So we always consider Africa as a key partner for us, and this is also confirmed by the fact that the president of the European Commission, when she got in charge the first time, she, with all her commission, come to Addis to visit the African Union Commission. Well, to do so, we have to move my political master have to move with political papers. And among them, I would like to mention the comprehensive EU strategy with Africa, where the main actions to be taken to favor an African economic and social growth are very clear, highlighted, and the global approach to research and innovation. This is a document that has been published 1 year ago with the aim to prioritize R&I actions to allow a sustainable development and a clear global approach for our research actions. This always taking into account that we live in a multipolar world, so we have to take to have a bilateral approach in some situation, but also a regional and global approach when we face other priorities. Then entering more in detail about Africa, we have our action included in what we call African Union, European Union high-level policy dialogue on science, technology and innovation. This is a policy forum where we have the participation of European and African member states, plus we have African Union Commission and European Commission, and then where we exchange regularly on research and innovation, looking for long-term priorities, aiming to strengthen our cooperation. In the frame of this dialogue that was established 12 years ago, we organized 2 years ago the first research and innovation ministerial on science and technology, where we define 4 priorities areas. These are public health, green transition, innovation and technology, and capacity for science. When we talk about capacities for science, we consider all the area about grants, open science, gender equality, and based on these 4 priorities, we define the cooperation between Europe and Africa. At the same time, Europe set up an R&I cooperation program that is called Horizon Europe, started 1 year ago and will last for 7 years. This is the biggest cooperation program in research and innovation in the world, and is fully open to African partners, to African institutions. It's fully open, and the European Union is fully supporting all the African activities taking place into this. Going more into details about the program, you will see this. This is a little bit the main picture of the program. You will find it several times, and this gives an overview about the main pillars of the program. We have Pillar 1 and Pillar 2 that have a strong interest for what concern international partners. The first one is dealing with excellence of science, and is divided in 3 main areas: the activities of the European Research Council that we will see later more in detail, and they are focused on skyrocket science, important research activities with big financing support that are open for Europeans and for international, so African partners. Then we have the Marie Sklodowska-Curie that cover different actions going to PhD, postdoc activities, but also involving more senior scientists. Then we have an area on research infrastructure. When we talk about research infrastructures, we have to consider not only the physical research infrastructures, but also all the IT sectors, so all the exchange of data, all the activities connected with the computer science. Then we have the pillar 2 that is including all the global challenges that we are facing at the global level, and they are divided in 6 clusters. You can read them: health, culture, creativity and the inclusive society, civil security, digital industry and space, climate, energy and mobility, and the area on food, bioeconomy and agriculture. Now I would like to enter more in detail about the Marie Sklodowska-Curie action. I saw that they are not, usually they have a specific speaker in this kind of event. Today, they are not, we don't have a speaker, so I would like to say a few words about them. This is a very well-known program that is focusing researchers, mobility and training. And this is passing through, as I say, the opportunity to have doctoral programs, postdoc, and also collaborative research and fellowship schemes. You can find all the information in the website here below. I'm sure that Dr. Hamed and Euraccess Europa then will share my presentation, and you just can click on the hyperlink and to get all the information. This means that you can try to apply for PhD program, postdoc, but also for more senior fellowships in European research centers. At the same time, your university can set up a system, a network of universities, setting up what we call sandwich PhDs, for example, or organizing a scheme with different periods for PhD students in different research centers. Then I would like to say a few words about the European Research Council activities. As I say, these are extremely competitive grants. Just to give you an idea, it's very common that the European Nobel Prizes, they have been supported with this kind of grants. But okay, we have, and obviously they are extremely competitive, but then these people has also the need to set up a research team. And in this case, there is always the opportunity to join their group, their team. We give opportunities to scientists out of Europe to move to Europe. And in this case, if they are the principal investigators, they will get $1 million more funding. Another advantage is, for example, if you are already affiliated to some institution outside Europe, you can keep your affiliation at the same time moving to work in some European university. And you have also to consider that team members, so scientists working in the team, can be based also outside Europe. So you can continue your work in your university, but at the same time, being affiliated to a program, a project in Europe, with obviously some advantage. I think this is a challenging opportunity, but for the most adventurous of you, the ones that think that they're really a good idea, a strong scientific idea, it's an opportunity to follow. Going back to the main program, as I say, all African can participate, and they are very welcome. If in case they are winning, they are very welcome to be supported, to be funded by the European Union. When I talk about key players, I think about researchers, I think about innovators, I think about startuppers, but I think also about international organization. And they are all NGOs. They are all very welcome to apply to our program. Well, our program can be quite complicated. We have a website that you will see later, the hyperlink. It's that included really thousands and thousands of pages with all the calls, with all the different topics. And could be at the beginning quite frustrating to identify while could be a good project, a good topic for you to be applied to. But what you should consider that there are specific targeted international cooperation actions. In this case, you can find specific actions that are targeted for international cooperation. This means that no specific continent or regions are highlighted into this. This is open and irrelevant for international partners. Then we can have targeted actions specific for strategic thematic areas. So for example, if making a very simple example, if we talk about coffee production, biological coffee production, obviously this is there is a natural focus for some area of Africa and obviously Latin America. So we expect to have partners from these areas. And then we have what we call Africa Initiative, and this is a specific action focused on cooperation with Africa, where we aim to have a strong Africa participation. So we have the first Africa Initiative that it's already I'm sorry to say it, but it's already inspired, because this was set up in the work program 2021-2022, following the ministerial I mentioned before. And based on this, a total budget of 350 million were allocated to 36 topics in the 4 areas we have seen before. Okay, this has been an initiative, extremely successful one. And we have obviously a very strong African cooperation, a very strong African participation, sorry. And so we decided to have an Africa Initiative too. Well, I have to say that the day to organize this event has been a little bit unfortunate, because in 2 weeks we have the opening of the new calls, the calls for the work program 2023-24, and over there will be another Africa Initiative too. You will find all this information in the Horizon Europe funding and tenders portal. You find the hyperlink here below. I'm so sorry, I cannot give you the name and the title of the topics, but nevertheless, I can give you a flavor of this. So we will have in this work program around 250 millions allocated to this activities. So we have topics on research infrastructure, several topics on digital industry and space, focusing on standards, Earth observation, and processing of raw materials. And here the total budget you see is 46 million euros. Then there will be a big thematic cluster on climate, energy, and mobility, dealing specifically with adaptation to climate change, next generation low emission, energy storage solution, zero emission vehicles concept, non-lithium sustainable batteries. And then there will be an area focusing on food bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture, and environment. And specifically, there will be topics dealing with our platform on food, nutrition, security, and sustainable agriculture, agroecology, agroforestry, food safety, climate neutral food systems, and research on oceans. Then there will be also another topic on European innovation ecosystems. Well, I just want to give you a short idea how these topics are defined. These are not defining some dark room of the European Commission. These are based on a public debate that is triggered by platforms. So when we talk about public health, we have EDCTP, that is the European and Developing Countries Clinical Trial Partnership. This is a partnership very well known with a long history. And actually, we are investing 1.4 billion euros. And this was a contribution of European and African member states, plus private sectors, and the foundation has Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation or Wellcomes Trust. We publish every few months calls for different projects, and this is a very interesting option in the sector of public health. Then we have a green transition with the two partnerships. The first one I already mentioned, it is the FNSSA, and we already allocated more than 700 million in the past in to projects dealing with agriculture and food security, while the other one is dealing with climate change and sustainable energy. And we allocated till now more than 100 million euros. I would like also to mention an important job we are doing nowadays with the joint EU innovation agenda. We are aiming to set up an ideal ecosystem where we can work together, European and African innovators, in the 4 areas we have identified before, with the aim to create a sustainable growth and jobs increasing for Africa. This is done through a series of short, medium, and long-term actions according to the 4 areas. And I would like to mention here you find the link to the stakeholder event that is going to start next week in Nairobi, 23rd, 24th of November. And we will have in-person and virtual attendees. So if you didn't register yet, you are very, very welcome to do it. Finally, I would like to give you some interesting link to our activity, our political activities. So you have information about high-level policy dialogue, our cooperation, the Africa Initiative, but also what is important is the portal of national contact points. These are entry points to your country to know more, to have more information about this kind of opportunities. Well, we are very lucky to have, for example, here for Ethiopia, Dr. Solomon Benor, that is the national counterpoint for Ethiopia. And this Solomon has other people for other countries. They play an essential job because they get information from Europe and they have to provide this input to the scientific community. But at the same time, the scientific community could pass through them to have more information about who are the key players in Europe in their sector. I think with this, I thank you very much and I conclude my presentation.
Thanks a lot, dear Piero. It was very clear, I think, very great presentation. So for me, I will share my screen and I will give you a demonstration related to funding and tender portal. So first of all, just we can use Google and we can type two keywords, funding and tender. After that, we have the first link here. You can see the first link. You can open this link, is related to funding and tender opportunities. So we have many options. We have search fundings and tenders. We have how to participate. We have projects and results, and we have work as an expert and support. We have support overview, and you can here just if you want, you can see here where can I find the national contact points for Horizon Europe. Just here, support and support overview, and here we can click on and just we can select if you have member states of associated countries or countries in process of to association or third countries. So here for third countries in Africa, because actually you have Tunisia as associated country and you have Morocco in progress, and here we can select, for example, I think just for example, we can select for Rwanda. And we have the Rwanda's NCP. We have all contacts related to the email contact and all details about NCP. We can here select the thematics related to the NCP, National Contact Point. So just here, as taught by Piero about the role of a National Contact Point, is very a great role here to explain and give more and more assistance and information about all the process related to get opportunities on Horizon Europe. So here we can click in search funding and tenders. After that, we have the possibility to add some keywords, or we can here select the program period. Actually, we are in 2021-2027. We click on. We have the filter by program, and for the program, we can click on Horizon Europe. Just after that, we have three options: forthcoming, open for submission, and close it. No need to select close it. And here we can just add, because we have many pillars, pillar 1, pillar 2, pillar 3, and we can, for example, we can click on climate, energy, and mobility. And here we can see many core topics. So for each core topics, we have many details. For example, here, best international practice for scaling up sustainable biofuels. Here you can see, if you want, just I will zoom. We can see the topic code for each topic code, and we have the program, we have the type of action, because we have 3 actions in Horizon Europe. We have research and innovation actions, we have innovation actions, and we have support and coordination actions. We have the opening date, we have the deadline also. So here you can see the deadline is 10 of January 2023, but you can click on to get more and more details about this topic code. We have here the topic ID, and we have the topic description, the destination, conditions, and documents, and many other informations. So just to get an idea about the budget overview, we need to have the topic ID. Just we can click on and we can search here the topic ID. For example, for this topic ID, we have 20 million euro, and the stage is single stage, and we have the opening date and the deadline. After that, we have you have to read for each topic. You have the topic description, you have expected outcome. We have also the scope, we have specific topic conditions, and here we have the TRL, technology readiness level 4 and 5. There is large prototype should be submitted by the end of the project. And we have the destination, we have many informations, and here we can see we have 156 organizations looking for partner collaborate on this topic. So it is very important to write an email including all contact details, email, website, and to get in touch with the organizations that are looking to partners in the call topic. This is a very effective way to get involved in the consortium. There is also the possibility to add an expertise offer for each organization, for each call topic, but you have to create an account for organization in the portal as university, laboratory, small or medium enterprise, or NGO, etc. Just we need to log in or to register, and after that we can add our organization. Just you need to verify if the organization already in the already registered in the platform, because for each organization we need to have the PIC number, the identifier code for each organization. So here you can see all organizations looks to have a partner in this core topic, so we can contact this organization. But if you need to contact, we need to log in the platform to have the contact. And for the registration, it takes 2 or 3 minutes for a maximum. Here I will show you the projects and results. You can click on, and we have the same period, 2021-2027. And for the program, we have Horizon. Just I will search Horizon Europe. Yes, this is Horizon Europe. And for Horizon Europe, you have Horizon Dashboard. And for Horizon Dashboard, we have many options. We can here explore the Horizon Dashboard. For Horizon Dashboard, we have implementation figures. For implementation figures, we have 2 options. CRNI, Research and Innovation Proposals, or Research and Innovation Projects. For example, we can see here projects. For projects, just we wait for a few seconds, and after that, we can see, we click on key figures, and for key figures, we have many options. So just we need to filter by the program. We have FP7, Horizon 2020, we have Horizon Europe, and here we select Horizon Europe. For example, for country, I put South Africa. Okay, so for South Africa, here you can see the key figures for accepted projects in Horizon Europe, and you have the net EU contribution, 1573 million euro actually. And we have, you can see all details related to participant. You click on here, and you can see all details related to top participants. You can see more and more information. Just we can click on here, and we can just click on project details. In project details, you have many more informations related to all accepted projects in Horizon Europe by South Africa. We have all information. We have topic description, topic code, project number, participation, and project title, and many informations. So if you need to search all information related to participation in African countries in Horizon Europe, you should use this dashboard related to Horizon Europe. So that's all for me. Thank you for your attention. So I will give the floor actually to I think Mr. Tigula from South Africa.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed. May I share my
The floor
screen?
is yours. Yeah.
Thank you. Please let me know once you see it.
Yeah, it's okay.
You can see it. Okay. Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. As introduced by the program director, my name is Tugela Matuba-Dlamini, and I'm the Director for Strategic Partnerships at the Department of Science and Innovation in South Africa. And I'd like to thank the previous two speakers because you've made my job really easy. You've laid the foundation very good for me to come and present. But on the behalf of Department of Science and Innovation in South Africa, we really thank this platform for us to be able to come and share our experience. The presentation I'd like to share today, I'd like to just touch on the South Africa EU Science and Technology Cooperation to give you the policy context, because I think that is very important for you to understand the support and how effective the support would be once you get the support from your government and there is alignment to the policy in a particular country. I will also share about the ways in which the Department of Science and Innovation creates an enabling environment for South African participants to participate in the framework program. Ahmed has already shared some statistics from the framework program. I would also touch on that, as well as share the specific support, how the DSI does it in South Africa. So just to go over the evolution of the South Africa EU Science, Technology and Innovation Cooperation, we signed a bilateral agreement between South Africa and EU in science and technology in 1996. And I must say that signing this agreement really facilitated South Africa's participation in the framework program. Our participation was seen spiking up as from FP6 to FP7, as well as Horizon 2020, and now currently we are implementing Horizon Europe. Subsequent to that, there was a signing of the Trade Development and Cooperation Agreement in 1999, and through the South Africa EU Strategic Partnership Dialogue Facility, it facilitated cooperation in political, economical, social, and cultural thematic areas. And all these agreements are facilitated through our different policy bodies, which is one, the South Africa European Union Summit, which is chaired at president level, the Joint Cooperation Committee, and the Joint Science and Technology Cooperation Committee. And even through the implementation of all these programs, there has been a platform called ISA-STAP, which was established in FP6, which actually is dedicated in facilitating the cooperation of South Africa in these EU-funded programs. If we look at the reflection of the policy implementation between South Africa and Europe, we've seen that over the years, there's been quite strong bilateral cooperation between individual European states with South Africa, which has assisted us in actually strengthening the policy dialogue between our European counterparts. And how the Department of Science and Innovation achieves this is to go and understand how the framework programs or other EU funded programs work. Once we understand that, we are then able to create the support instrument that talk to the needs of South African researchers. While doing that, we ensure that there is a promotion of reciprocity between South African and European programs. And since doing that, we've seen that there's been an increase in the participation in EU competitive funding programs and networks. And therefore, there's been successful participation in programs like the framework program. There's also been a strengthened science and technology policy dialogue, as I've mentioned in the previous slide. The evolution of ISA-STAP. ISA-STAP is a platform which started as a European South Africa Science and Technology Advancement Program. As I've mentioned, it was funded through FP6, but there was some co-investment that came from the DSI. It then evolved in FP7 to ISA-STAP 2, which actually dedicated in raising awareness in FP7 and also identifying the challenges that South African researchers might be experiencing in participating in the framework program. There was since another program called ASA Access, which looked at promoting South African opportunities in Europe. Under FP7 again, between 2012 and 2015, we then combined these two programs, which is ISA-STAP 2 and Success, to make sure that there is equal reciprocity between South African and European programs. In 2016 and 2019, there was ISA-STAP 2020, still funded through the European Commission and with co-investment from South Africa. And then in 2021, we stopped receiving funding from European Commission. However, because the DSI noticed how important this platform was in terms of keeping in touch with the South African researchers and even in the continent, because that's how far the information has disseminated. The Department of Science and Innovation then decided to continue funding this platform to ensure that it fulfills the objectives that it was meant to do in the beginning, as it was formed in 2005. As I've mentioned, initially ISA-STAP was meant to be a South Africa EU platform, but we've seen ourselves being invited throughout the continent to share information about the framework program, to share our lessons and best practices regarding the establishment of the National Contact Point system, as well as other programs that we might be successful in. So we've participated in the Gambia, in Mozambique, Addis Ababa, and in Cameroon, where we shared information about the establishment of our national system of innovation, as well as the National Contact Point network. Moving on to the statistics of the framework program, you will see this is from the framework program 7, where we really saw our participation picking up, where we received about 37 million euros from European Commission. And you can also see the other countries which featured in FP7 as well. When you look at Horizon 2020, I mean, most of these figures, you can get them from the website that Amhel had shared already. These figures have just been updated, whereby in Horizon 2020, we've seen the signing of about 221 grants and about over 56 million we received from European Commission. And for Horizon Europe, which started in 2021 already, we've have about more than 29 signed agreements or projects running, and over 15 million euros that we've received from the European Commission. So it seems to be going to be a quite promising participation in Horizon Europe. If you look at this slide, this is taken from statistics of Horizon 2020. You will see the type of thematic areas that usually feature from the African continent, and you'll see food and nutrition as presented by Dr. Venturi, those thematic areas that were agreed in the Africa AU-EU partnership. You'll see food and nutrition featuring a lot, energy, health as well, featuring a lot, as well as the Marie Curie actions. You'll see also here the same over the years, the different thematic areas that have featured. You'll see food leading there, followed by Marie Curie actions, environment, energy, ICT, and so on. So I must also say, regarding the South African contest, the Marie Curie actions are quite popular because the mobility of researchers is quite important. And participating in the framework program is all about creating the correct networks. So if you do create networks that have experience in participating in the framework program, your chances of making it in getting a project are quite high. Now, going to the support offered by the Department of Science and Innovation, we have a dedicated website called the ISA-STAP website. I've put the website address there, www.isastap.org.za. We use this website to disseminate information to the South African National System of Innovation, as well as in the continent and in our European partners. This is where we post all the opportunities when it comes to the calls, when it comes to the training opportunities that we might have, as well as workshops and webinars. This is where you will find all the information. So we usually encourage our stakeholders to please subscribe to the website, and then this is where you will be able to get all the information about the open calls. We do have currently calls that are open within the EU framework program, as well as other programs. So please do subscribe and take some time to go through the website and see which opportunities we might have. The national contact point, I can never overemphasize the importance of this, as mentioned by Dr. Venturi. So South Africa has managed to of national contact points, I think since the beginning of FP6. And in South Africa, the national contact points are not remunerated. These are experts in the National System of Innovation who have experience in those particular thematic areas, and they usually do this type of work as a voluntary add-on to their work. We've seen a lot of dedication from them, and I must say that their contribution to the NSI has really helped South Africa to be in a position that it is right now in terms of participating in the framework program. For Horizon Europe, we are currently finalizing the appointment of the National Contact Point Network, and this group of people should be announced in the coming few months. We have an office in Brussels, which is occupied by one lady. That is not her in the picture. She's based in Brussels, and her job is to basically get hands-on intelligence for us at the DSI, to also inform the DSI of which opportunities would be better to invest in. This goes back to my first slide when I said it's very important to align your policy to the framework program. And I think one should also note that not everything would be responded to in terms of policy alignment, but it's up to a particular individual to align themselves to what is offered by the framework program. There is also financial support that is provided by the Department of Science and Innovation. The financial support is in the form of seed funding. We provide seed funding for South African researchers or researchers affiliated to South African institutions to travel to Europe and to finalize proposals for the framework program. The seed funding is not for researchers to go look for partners. Looking for partners, you can use the platforms that Dr. Amhed had presented. But once you've established your partners and you've identified a call and you now want to finalize a proposal, you can then come to the DSI and apply for seed funding. You will be afforded up to 80% of travel costs to go to Europe and finalize your proposals. We do have other programs that are, for example, the Cooperation on Science and Technology COST, whereby we also provide funding for you to go and participate in COST. The reason why we do this particularly for COST is that we've seen the linkages between COST and the framework program. Most of the researchers that meet in COST actions end up submitting proposals for the framework program. So it is a networking tool that you can also use as a researcher to meet partners and also discuss towards submitting calls from the framework program. We also offer co-investment support. Initially in Horizon 2020, there used to be programs called the ERA-nets. So my understanding is that the ERA-nets are still continuing, although under a different name. And for South Africa, there are different thematic areas that we viewed as important to the country. And then there was a decision to then provide co-investment for those particular ERA-nets. Those include Water for All, which is in water, Biodiversa, which is in biodiversity, ERA-net, which is in advanced manufacturing, mining and materials, and then ERA-min, which is in circular economy. So it also depends on a country if they're able to leverage the important programs from the framework program to also put in some type of investment to assist the researchers. Those are the websites that you can visit for more information. I've mentioned the ISASTAP website. The CODIS website that Amhed has also showed us, as well as the Horizon Europe website that Dr. Venturi has also given us. I've also put the website for our department. I think I will stop here, and thank you very much for your attention.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this nice presentation, Mrs. Tegula Matubatuba, Director of Strategic Partnership, Department of Science and Technology in South Africa. Now we move to Dr. Solomon Benor, CEO Research and Community Engagement Affairs at Ministry of Education in Ethiopia and National Contact Point for Coordinator for Horizon Europe. So Solomon, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Greetings all. My name is Solomon Bino. I'm CEO for Research and Community Engagement Affairs as the Ethiopian Minister of Education. Besides, I'm serving as the National Contact Point Coordinator for Horizon Europe, Ethiopia. My presentation will have this format where I'll give you an overview of Ethiopian higher education and research system and the current higher education differentiation activities, and also participation of Ethiopian scientific organizations, both higher education and research institutions in Horizon Europe program, the existing gaps and opportunities, and I'll wind up my presentation by few conclusions. So when we refer about Ethiopia, the higher education system in the country is very old, of course, comparing to other African countries. Higher education is 70 years old, where Addis Ababa University is the oldest university in the country, and almost all universities are governed by the Federal Ministry of Education, be it private or public. Currently, we have about 56 universities in the country, of which 51 are public universities and 5 are private universities. And there exist also 10 private university colleges and several, like 340 private colleges. So the proportion of private universities, full-fledged universities, is 9%, comparing to the 91% which are public universities. We do have also several, over 20 public research institutions in various fields like in health, agriculture, natural resource, social science, engineering, and technology. And we do have also private scientific institutions, technology startups, small and medium enterprises, which are also directly or indirectly involved in research and innovation activities in the country. With regard to our higher education institutions, we recently have carried out university differentiation, particularly for public universities. And hence, we already have categorized them into 5 differentiations, of which the first one, which is the Science and Technology University, it is already differentiated by establishment, and we have 2 Science and Technology universities. And we do have 8 research universities. More or less, these are the oldest universities, including Addis Ababa University and other universities, both in the north, south, west, and part of the country. We have 21 comprehensive universities and 15 applied science universities. Recently, the Kotobe Metropolitan University, which is found in the capital Addis, is differentiated into Teachers Development University. So we have all these public universities differentiated into categories so that they can gear up and direct their mission into teaching, research, and community engagement based on the differentiation strategy. And the ultimate purpose is just to avoid duplication of efforts and the teaching, research, and community engagement activities into their respective missions. Although it has been stated by Dr. Ahmed and Dr. Venturi, it is also good to highlight what Horizon Europe is. As I can see from participants, there are several participants from Ethiopia. And it is good also to give some highlight or information about this Horizon Europe. As it said, it is a 7-year European Union scientific and research initiative, which started last year and which will be staying for 7 years. And hence it is a successor of the Horizon 2020 program. And the budget allocated for the 7-year scientific research initiative is 100 billion euros. So you can imagine the opportunities that we can exploit being as an Ethiopian institution or as an African institution. This Horizon Europe program is targeting countries from Europe, member states, as well as other countries, which are from South and East Asia and east of the Europe. And we Africans, including Ethiopia, are also included in the other third countries, which are the low and middle income countries. With my next slide, I will try to show you few information or data about the Horizon Europe programs in Ethiopia and beneficiary organizations. Also, it has been very recently that I am assigned as NCP. I think it is good also to give an information and create awareness so that we can increase our participation in this Horizon Europe program in the near future. So when we see the key high Horizon Europe figures for Ethiopia, the top organizations are displayed over there, where Armand Hudson Research Institution, which is a health research institution, is the most beneficiary of Horizon Europe as well as Horizon 2020 program, followed by Mekelle University and other agricultural and research institutes from health and natural resources. There are also participants from regional research institutions like the Amara Regional Agriculture Research Institutions. And with regard to the type of the organization, most of the applicants and the beneficiary organizations are higher education institutions, followed by other public organizations. There are also other small and medium enterprises. Also, the amount is very little. They're one of the beneficiaries, and hence majority are from higher education institutions. When we see the applications and success rates as it's displayed, and with the form that has been indicated or shown us by Dr. Ahmed, the total number of application for Horizon Europe, and of course for Horizon 2020 were 37, of which 9 were successful. And that will give us about 20% of retained proposals. So you can imagine the number or the percent of participation and funded proposals from the Ethiopia seems to be very low comparing to what has been displayed by earlier slide in South Africa. And with regard to priority areas, applications are mostly from food, agriculture, natural resource, and agroforestry areas, followed by health. And there are also applications which are submitted in the area of climate, energy, and mobility, and also in other fields. But when we see successful grant applications, most go with the health profession. And that's not surprising because there are also several Horizon Europe and Horizon 2020 calls or applications in the field of health, of which one is the one which is said by Dr. Venturi, a DCTP project. So there are several participant organizations from Ethiopia in the field of health science. When we see the participations in program, Ethiopian research institutions and universities, although very little have been benefited from FEPT2 up to HG 2020, where the largest beneficiary was from Horizon 2020. The figure for Horizon Europe is 6. It's not surprising because it's just initiated a year ago, and we expect with such type of webinars, information exchange, and awareness creation, our participation in the Horizon Europe will be increasing, and hence the number 6 indicators the one that has been achieved within 1 year of application. And there are collaborations between Ethiopia and the different institutions, both higher education and research institutions, almost globally, but majority are with European institutions. And the collaboration link is in the project where Ethiopia is involved is more strengthened with United Kingdom, followed by Italy, France, and Kenya. Now, when I come to the challenge, Ethiopia is the second populous nation next to Nigeria. And as I have told you, we have several public and private institutions, almost more than 250, of which 57 are universities. And we do have also over 30,000 university instructors. But the level of our participation in Horizon Europe is very minimal, and hence what main aim of my presentation is to increase our participation in Horizon Europe, as well as in other regional and global funding opportunities, where we can increase our research financing, we create mobility for researchers and students, and also that will also enable us to increase the research and development financing of the country. But that is not a fact. So we have also very little research financing by the Ministry of Finance. For information, the Ministry of Finance is the only public ministry providing finance for research, be it infrastructure or project core. Of course, there is also another financing by the Ministry of Innovation and Technology, but that is not very well established, and it happens occasionally. So we do not have any university funding structure under the Ministry of Education, which would have rather increased the participation of our instructors in research, and hence not only at country, but also at global and regional levels. As I've said it earlier, although our network is with diverse institutions, considering the number of our education, as well as scientific organizations, mainly research institutions, we do have, I think, little participation at regional and international level. And the amount that we have benefited from earlier Horizon 2020 program is not as much as expected, comparing to our wider number of universities as well as research institutes. However, we have several opportunities. The government recently have set up a 10-year perspective plan where it gives due emphasis for partnership and cooperation as well as for higher education. And we recently have adopted the national STI policy this year. We had a national STI policy which was issued in 2012 that has been now amended and replaced by the 2020-22 STI policy. And in this policy, it gives due emphasis for research and development as well as for linkage and partnerships. Another opportunity is the one which was stated by Dr. Venturi, the senior officials EU high-level policy dialogue, which was held in January 2022, where I was also participated in that platform. And this will create a lot of opportunity, not only for Ethiopia, but also for other African scientific institutions. The recent also summit held in Belgium, Brussels, by the AU and EU, and its agreements would also bring various opportunities, not only in Horizon Europe, but also other science financing and research and development opportunities. Another opportunity for Ethiopian researchers, be it in higher education or research institution, is, I think, the initiation of our establishment of the NECP. We don't have any NECP so far, but recently, 6 months ago, the NECP for Ethiopia is set up, and I'm very closely also working with the European Union Delegation Office to the AU with Dr. Venturi, and also our closer collaboration with Access will help us to attract more researchers, institutions, and has to get more participation in Horizon Europe and other funding opportunities in Europe and at international level. And to come to the conclusion, I'm sorry for my voice, I had a cold, so I hope you are hearing me. Recently, in my previous slide, I said our Ethiopian government research financing is very little. Although African countries have agreed and made a commitment to make 1% of the GDP to research and development, the Ethiopia share still with the data generated from 2017 is 0.7. So we are very far from the agreed commitment with 1% of the GDP for research and development. And that means we need to increase this percent to 1, not only by government financing on research, but also by institutions' participations in other global funding opportunities like Horizon Europe, and also in actively playing a role in collaboration and partnerships. And the recent setting platform of NECP would also create us a lot of opportunity for our young researchers, medium researchers, and senior professors to get part and to increase their attraction in Horizon Europe programs, as well as in other European funding opportunities like in IDAD, CAD, and other several European and international funding opportunities. If we are trying to do that, I think, with the increasing number of our our higher education institutions and academic staff in universities, there is a wider opportunity to get more research financing. And with that, I wind up my presentation. Thank you, Dr. Ahmed, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Solomon, for this clear presentation. So now we will give the floor to our speaker, Dr. Presha Ikwer, Chair of Africa Chapter Marie Curie Alumni Association. So, Presha, the floor is yours. If Solomon, if you can stop the sharing the screen.
Sure, I will. Just a moment. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for this opportunity to present at this webinar. My name is Precious Ekwere, and I represent Marie Curie Alumni Association. I am currently the African chair of the association. So I'm going to start by giving you a brief background about the association, the MCAA, where I belong. Sorry. So the association was founded in 2012, and it was a restricted access website. But today we have over 20,000 members across all countries. The MCAA is an international non-profit organization. It was established and it is supported by the European Commission. It's entirely run by volunteer members, and it has a bottom-up approach at its core. So MCAA members have one thing in common: they have benefited or they are benefiting from the Marie Curie Action funding. So therefore, we shared similar backgrounds, even though our career is across different paths and we touch different economic sectors. So the vibrant MCAA community brings together researchers across all career stages, across all scientific disciplines, and across all nationalities, which encourages networking, cooperation, collaboration between researchers and with the society. The MCCA also is a major platform for researchers to contribute to science policies, especially in Europe. Now we're coming to Africa, and then providing career development opportunities, supporting research across different topics that is related to research and researchers' life. So the structure of the MCCA runs with the board members and then chapters. We have chapters across all Africa. Across the world. The African chapter is one of them. We have chapters in Asia, we have chapters in Europe, in North America, in South America, and in East Asia. And then we have a working group that highlights on topics across policy making, research funding, gender equality, region science and business, science communication, and career development and surveys. So the pillars of the MCEA is on networking. We believe in networking between researchers and with researchers and policymakers. Also on career development, we believe in the career development of our members. And then science policy, we believe that our jobs as scientists is incomplete if we just focus on our personal researches. So we need to understand the complexities of the policies and the legislation that affects us. So we believe in science policy. We also believe in science communication. So we try to bridge the gap between natural sciences and social science so that we can communicate our research findings in a way that impacts policymakers. We also believe in innovation. So among those services we provide is micro grants to members for travels and media engagement. We have this member directory that encourages networking, socials. We do surveys, presenting reports and analyzing data and making recommendations. So we also have events like we plan webinars, we plan trainings, workshops to bring awareness to the general public about the association, what it stands for, and also awards and recognitions. Okay, so the topics we cover and engage in span across science communication, research funding, science policies.
Risha, sorry, if you can raise your voice a little bit.
Oh, okay. So the topics we engage in span across science communication. Is it better now? Okay, research funding, career development, diversity, networking, and also it's being carried through trainings and workshops, public outreaches, seminar info, chapter and week working group meetings. So, like I said, everybody in MCAA has something in common. We have either benefited or we are benefiting from the MSCA program. And this is the MSCA program is one of the programs facilitated by Horizon Europe. We can see it's in the pillar 1, which talks about the excellence of science. So this action comes under there, and it's about teaming up the best researchers and supporting them to do their research in an enabling environment and equipping them to come up with groundbreaking researches. Sorry. So far, this program have supported researchers across the world, and about 650 researchers are being supported currently, including about 1,000 doctoral programs. We have about 7% of these researchers are from outside EU, and also companies are being supported, and their supports female researchers, and encouraging girls and women to go into research. So in Africa currently, the program have supported about 160 plus African researchers, those that have benefited in participation projects, and about 44 countries are have benefited from this program. If we streamline to Nigeria, we have about 134 Nigerians that have been supported by these programs, and we have about 12 participation, 8 projects, and below are top Nigerian participating organizations that have really participated and gained from these programs. So, where are we on this on the Horizon Europe program? So the MSCA is like a reference program for doctoral and postdoctoral training. It's contributing to high skill research-based human capital able to detect and tackle upcoming challenges, communicate scientific evidence to policymakers and the public, and work across disciplines. The MSCA also provide researchers with skills needed in the labor market to innovate and to convert knowledge and ideas into products and services for economic and social benefit, and also develop excellence doctoral program, enhancing the global attractiveness and visibility of institutions involved in them. It covers the worldwide, like it has a worldwide geographical coverage, with a budget of about 6.6 billion euros. So the actions involved here are doctoral networks. You have postdoctoral fellowships, that staff exchange programs are co-fund, and then the MSc and citizens, which is not for for this purpose. So the programs that organizations from Africa can participate in would be doctoral network, staff exchange, postdoc fellowship, and co-fund. But most of it, they can participate as associated partners, which means they're not going to sign the grant agreement by themselves, but they're going to collaborate with a primary partner. The good thing there, or the advantage there, is they don't have to go through the hustle of the auditing, but they can participate in this project and get the funding for it. So as individuals, you can also participate in the doctoral network. You can participate in staff exchanges, postdoctoral fellowships, and the co-funds. And you can access it from the UX's portal. The staff exchange, you have to send institution, like it has to be a collaboration with an institution. For postdoctoral fellowship, you have to find a host organization to support you with that. So these are all polls that have been made. Most of them have expired, but the good thing is that they come every year. And currently there's a staff exchange call on and co-fund too. So these are these are some websites you could access to get more information so that you know when calls are open and when to apply. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Presha Equer, for this nice presentation. Now, I think we have just a small time to some live questions. We have received many questions, more than 43 questions in Slido. So we will take note, and all questions will be replied, sure. Now I think that we will give the possibility to some live questions. So I think Omar, if you can give us your question. You have, I think, 3 participants. You have Rashid, and we have, yeah.
Can you hear my voice? Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, I would like to thank you for the substantial event today. I would like to thank all the speakers, and on behalf of myself, all national contact points in Libya, we appreciate this opportunity. 2 quick questions. For some African countries which are like affected by political instability or civil wars, does Horizon Europe pay extra attention to this kind of special scenarios where we are not functioning or having the best opportunities to do our best in global research opportunities? Number 2, according to the same or current situation where we have divisions or civil wars or etc., how to motivate research teams and how to attract them more alongside with organizations to be more involved in Horizon Europe? And thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Piero, if possible to add some.
Good. I won the question. No, it's Rashad. It's a very good question. Well, let's say that at the political level, we try to make the best to support countries that have civil turmoils, that are in civil wars. For example, we supported in the past Syrian scientists during the war in Syria, as we have done it with Ukrainians. And I'm not aware of specific support to scientists in some African country, even if obviously, unfortunately, there are civil wars. How to motivate these people? Well, that's a matter of self-motivation for themselves. Well, I found that several of the questions. No, I would like to go to Europe. Okay, you have to take any opportunity. You know, first of all, try to get in touch with Europeans through. Now it's easier because we have webinars, so you can get in touch with European scientists in your sector. And then if you have a good idea, try to develop it. You know, I can tell you my experience. I did my postdoc in the Netherlands, and it happened that I met one professor from Wageningen University that in a meeting. So we start to talk. I was telling him what I was doing, and then he come he say, well, look, I have an idea. Would you like to try to make a Marie Curie postdoc? And frankly speaking, this was not coming too much from my side. It was his idea, but he was needing a PhD with a decent CV that could apply. So this is the way I got it. You know, there are many different ways to get opportunities, and I fully understand. I mean, people living in a complicated country with turmoils, with wars, it's very difficult for them. I don't know. I mean, then it's also something very personal. You know, someone want to get out of the country. If they have to stay there, it's even more complicated.
Yeah. Thank you so much indeed. That was a very direct and beneficial answer. Thank you.
Thanks to you.
Yes.
Ahmed, do you want to give the floor to other speakers?
Yeah. I think we have Oleg.
Yes, do you hear me?
Yeah, good.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for this very interesting webinar. I am here as a representative. I'm the president of Earth 3.0 Foundation. And I have a couple of questions. Already answered that the non-profit organizations are allowed to participate. I read that in your slides. But I wanted to ask you one very simple question, which is a yes or no, basically. If participating to Erasmus Plus is Erasmus Plus and Horizon Europe, if they are mutually exclusive, or a consortium can no.
No, well, that question deserves a little bit longer. If you allowed me, Ahmed, a little bit longer reply. Well, yeah. We offer different opportunities, different, let's say, platforms or tools. You are very welcome to use them together. You know, if you many times to get a Marie Curie fellowship is the first step to get cooperative projects that are bigger, more complicated, with more partners. Or if you have a project with different partners, this doesn't exclude that one of your PhD will apply for a postdoc somewhere else. You know, all these platforms, they are very useful to create synergies.
Thank you very much. The second question is, consortia, what is the ideal balance between European partners and African partners in Horizon Europe proposal?
Ahmed, do you want to reply or I reply?
I think, yeah, there is a difference, because as a member state in Horizon Europe, we need a minimum of 3 partners. But associate country can participate as a member state. So if you need to prepare our proposal for a project, we need to build a consortium with minimum of 3 organizations, such universities, laboratory, small, medium enterprise, and any official organization. So in Africa, actually, we have Tunisia as associate country, and we have member state. But in Africa, we can participate in many projects in Horizon Europe as a third country. So we have this possibility, and we can get a funded project in this case.
Okay, so it could be, for example, 2 European countries and 2 African countries.
2 European countries, 2 organizations in European countries, and in Africa we need associate country. And for example, we can use Tunisia, 1 from Italy, 1 from Belgium, and we can add many partners from Africa. No problem.
So I make it the straight question then. How about Sweden, Italy, Uganda, and Gambia?
If in
Can I respond?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's the same situation as in South Africa. So you'd need a minimum of 3 partners from 3 different EU member states or associated countries. Then you become the 4th partner to make the minimum requirement. So it will be 3 partners from either Germany's minimum requirement. Then from there you can add as many African partners as you want.
Last question, and then I shut up. How about the UK? What is the policy right now? Because it's a little bit changing. I
think Pierre,
I replied, well, for the moment, unfortunately, UK is not participating to our program. There were negotiations about the opportunity to have a UK associated country. This means that even if it's not member states, they put money in the pot and they can participate. The same situation, for example, of Israel, Switzerland, well, not Switzerland now, Norway, and Tunisia, I think, many other countries. But unfortunately, this is blocked because, well, technically the European Union want to negotiate a package of actions, while UK want to negotiate only their participation to Horizon Europe. So very, very unfortunately for both sides at present, they are not involved in our program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for you. So we give the floor to Daniela. Well, Daniela.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for leaving me the floor. I have one question, just a clarification, I think. So I am Daniela Angione, I'm from InnoGlobal in Ireland. And I just to understand, the rule that we just mentioned about having 3 member states from EU at the minimum, and then adding as many, partners from from Africa as we want, it can be used for any of the calls, of course, relevant in terms of thematic of the Horizon Europe, or only the calls that are within the Africa initiative? Thanks.
Thank you. Pierre, you can give the answer.
Yeah, okay. Well, the calls in the frame of the Africa initiative, they can have different conditions. In some call, well, it's requested it's advised the participation of African countries. For other, is compulsory. So it's really depending on the topic.
But for the Horizon Europe, for a generic, let's say, cluster 4, I don't know, twin transition, right? Or Horizon Europe, for example.
Sorry.
I can add participants from as a member of the consortium, some of the African states. Can I? Yeah.
You're very welcome. Yeah. Well,
oh,
obviously,
okay.
Well, what I didn't mention, and it was not very clear, I apologize for this, that African partners can apply to any can be part of consortia applying on any topic of the program. Obviously, their participation should be duly justified in the project, but they can always apply. Then we want to, and just to try to favorish the participation of African, we decided to have this action, specific action for African country, where we identify topics that are of interest for Africa, or we requested African participation.
And just one small question. And if they participate, would they be entitled to receive funding from the project?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Great.
Yeah. Yes.
Great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thanks, Emilia.
But we need 3 partners.
Yeah.
Members.
Yeah. That's fine. Thanks.
Thank you.
Maybe if I can just add, but the criteria will also be different for the actions as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Mark, if you can go ahead.
Thank you very much. Yes, very basic questions. I have understand that there is a African initiative in Horizon Europe, and the call will be open in 2 weeks from now. But what I don't understand is where we place the EU innovation agenda. Is it within Horizon Europe, or is it something different? And then comes the second question. What about the stakeholder events in Nairobi next week? If the call are already designed, what is the expected outputs on the expected participation from the stakeholders? Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Good question. I reply quickly because I see there are many other questions. Well, they are connected. The innovation agenda is a strategic paper where we try to frame our cooperation on strategic areas for the next 10 years. So this means that we identify key areas, key topics that will be proposed to the innovators, to the scientists in Horizon Europe. So this is the reason that the innovation agenda and Horizon Europe are strictly connected. Then the ambition of the innovation agenda is to involve also other key players. So to involve, for example, European member states with their activities, or to involve, for example, I don't know if you are familiar with the structure of the European Commission, to involve also DG INPA, that is the DG dealing with cooperation. So many of these activities can enter into the package innovation agenda, but for sure the Horizon Europe will be one of the main providers of action. This is the first point, and I think also reply to your second question, because I mentioned that the innovation agenda is a very long-term action. So this work program is gone, but and by the way, there are also some specific topics focusing on the innovation agenda. But for sure, in the next ones, there will be other topics concerning the innovation agenda. I hope I've been clear. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Just then, if I can add the question, there won't be any course within the innovation agenda. In fact, the course will be in the already existing programs coming from the strategic position from the innovation agenda. This is what I understand.
Yeah, that's correct. At least for the moment, this is the idea.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So I think Kosi, John Ganglo.
Kosi from Benin. Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to thank you for that very important webinar. Okay, my questions are already, let's say, asked, but I will repeat it here. Okay, I'm coordinating a master and PhD program in Benin in biodiversity informatics, which is very new for Africa. Now, I would like to know in which priority area I can apply to be, let's say, more meaningful, more successful. okay, for this program, because students need support, okay, from let's say for their some scholarships and also their research activities. And in which priority area can I apply to be more, let's say, likely to, let's say, to be more successful?
Okay, so the question is related to which the best area to find in cold topics on Horizon Europe.
Exactly.
Yeah, there is a lot of cold topics on Horizon Europe, and just we need to find to search with the keywords, and after that, for each cold topic, we have the possibility to write a proposal, and for us in Africa, we have the possibility to request a partnership and to be part in the consortium, and after that, we can get the funding. Just. Okay.
Thank you. But what my concern is about, since it is a specific capacity building, for instance, it is for capacity building area. Okay, is it welcome in that field more than other one?
Just for some actions related to coordination and support actions, widening, for twinning and widening, we have the possibility on Horizon Europe, but we have Erasmus Plus. We have Action 2 for capacity building for higher education. Okay, so you can apply as in Erasmus Plus, because Erasmus Plus is a mechanism given by European Commission to the capacity building for higher education institutions and universities.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Just we have think we come to the end, but just for 2 questions, and that's all. We can give the floor to Kennedy.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Greetings from Nigeria. I just want to appreciate every speaker that have spoken today. Very enlightening, very informative. I am the Director of Research Management Office in the University of Lagos here. And from records, we are concerned because many of our researchers, they've used some of the platform that was shared with us today. Like the last speaker said, like I was advised, log in into the areas of interest. They saw areas of interest, and the challenge the researchers in this university often face is the problem of getting partnership. They go also to the platform and scroll and got partnership, likely partnership. They were written, sometimes no response, sometimes they were not interested in that area. And that had always been the kind of sort of frustration. And when we look at funders across the globe, we found out that we're not really doing much with Horizon Europe because of that obstacle, the challenges of getting partners that will be interested. I don't know how we can overcome that, because our researchers kept showing interest, but this condition that they must work with partners, and they are very rarely do you see partners that were interested. Is a big challenge for us here. I don't know how we can overcome that. I don't know how we can overcome that. If I can ask the second one is actually, maybe I just share the experience we had with UKRI, which is also a funding organization. When they found out that most of their grants, most of the calls that the kind of response that it gets from the global south were not really addressing the core, that many people, they respond, but they don't usually make it. And I found about 3-4 years ago, under the Global Challenge Fund, they organized about 11 universities from Europe, from UK. They come to Ghana and it was like a meeting of researchers in Africa, meeting with researchers in UK. And the call they wanted to do then was like co-producing the call, knowing the needs in different thematic areas, the needs of Africa. Like we had at the beginning of the presentation, that the focus of Horizon Europe is actually helping people, helping nations, helping researchers to find local solutions to global challenges. So,
we have not enough time. If you can just give the question directly, because
yes, my question is how can we be participants? How can we be co-producer? How can we be involved in the co-production of cores so that we can have good results? Yeah.
Okay, good. So such organization, each organization in Africa, so as university, laboratory, enterprise, startup, association, ONG, or each official organization can participate on Horizon Europe. Just we need to identify the core topic, and after that we search how to be a part in the consortium in the project, because the only condition is to have 3 organizations from 3 countries, member state or associate countries. And for Africa, we can participate, we can get benefit for all core topics. Just we need to search how to be to get part in the consortium. Just it, okay? And you can send us an email, and I can send you all step by step how to get part and to get the benefit maximum of Horizon Europe. Just here we have our last question. Just we can give the possibility to last question to Niguz Sahali. If you can activate your mic, please.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, good.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone, for your excellent explanation. I have seen so many pointers and programs that are really interesting. And my question is, as an individual partner or like participant, can I submit more than one proposal? Maybe like one for ARC and the other for MSCCA, or like the other one research infrastructure. So can I still submit more than one proposal? That's my first question. And a second one, what about researchers as a postdoc or any other program living abroad, originally from Africa, but living abroad currently, and interested in going back from Africa? So can they still submit such proposal or not? And the last one is concerning especially ERC and research infrastructure case. Do I still need to have this 4-participant organization, especially for research infrastructure case? I just know that whether I need this multiple organization, participant organization or not. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, just for second question, you look to search some organization?
Yes,
Because
like
I don't understand the question.
like as a postdoc or as other researchers, they may live abroad in Europe or other countries.
Okay,
But,
good.
Yeah, interested to go back home, Africa, and like some such proposal.
Okay, good. So just you need to subscribe for mailing list of Your Access Africa, because we have a lot of opportunities for mobility and for research position in Europe. So just do it. Subscribe for mailing list of Your Access Africa.
I did it.
Yeah, and you will receive weekly an email with all details about all opportunities given by Europe, and we can assist you in your application. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. So I think we come to the end of this first webinar dedicated to Horizon Europe to Sub-Saharan African countries. I would like to thank our speaker, Dr. Piero Vanturi, the EU Science Counselor for the African Union delegation of the European Union to African Union, Tugula Tuba, she is a Director of Strategic Partnership Department of Science and Technology in South Africa. Dr. Solomon Benor, the CEO Research and Community Engagement Affairs in Ministry of Education in Ethiopia, and National Contact Point for Coordinator for Horizon Europe. And finally, Presh Ekware, Chair of the Africa Chapter Marie Curie Alumni Association. Thank you for all of you. Thank you for all participants. And the webinar, it will be, the recorded video of the webinar will be available today in the Africa website, or Access website. So I think this is okay. We can say bye-bye.
Ahmed.
Yes.
Can we get attendance certificates plus 100 euros for each participant?
Okay. we can extend together. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
Ciao.